He's always on the tear, so send me a bar and never a tar. Give I'll Maguire the chair.
Ahoy, gents. It's your boy, Captain Skid, back at it again with another video for the Sea of Thieves. And this video is gonna be a little different than the ones I normally make, because my recording software decided it didn't feel like pulling double duty and recording gameplay and audio. I've got heaps of gameplay, but no audio besides, so this video is going to be a little different than the ones I normally make. In this video, I'll be commentating over it and giving you a play-by-play of what me and my crew were feeling and saying during our times of high adventure on the Sea of Thieves, about a week ago when the PvP Covenant first dropped. So, cuddle up with your cat, your macaw or parakeet, or your closest crewmate, get yourself a glass of grog, and prepare for a tale like no other. Set sails for stupidity, me boys. It's time for a Sea of Thieves video. God damn, that was so stupid. Aye, let's set this tale off right, savvy? This is the first time I found Neptune's gift to me directly, me wee boy GG. I've seen the starlight shimmer off of each of the 5 seas in the Sea of Thieves, and I've yet to find anything that I have not seen in this wee boy's eyes. This is me presenting him to the crew up on deck, and telling him that if even a finger was laid on his precious little head, I'd slit all of their throats and then my own. So once that was established, we set sail. This was towards the beginning of our marauding adventure, and one of me boys had a question, so I had to set him right so he'd shut up about it. He said his compass wasn't working, and it was with a heavy heart I had to inform him he had bought a French compass, and it wasn't going to tell him the direction that he wanted to go. He had been gypped by some kind of gypsy. So, after that kerfuffle was over, we set sail trying to find other pirates. And these blokes here, they had been sailing all over the high seas, these gents. They had been sailing all over the place and we'd been tracking them across the waves, and finally we caught up to them here as they moored on the other side of this island trying to hide from us. So we pulled in here with great wind. The boys went aboard to do the cut work, and me cabin boy started to give them a broadside. I was kind enough as a pirate captain, one to the other, to let them know exactly what kind of doom had befallen them. So after I had let them know that their impending death had arrived and the Sisters of Fate had cut their strings short, I hopped on the cannons myself and started giving them a broadside, sending them to Davy Jones right. So we set their ship alight, blew them to smithereens, and then after I was pretty sure the poor wretches were going to be sent down to the depths, I got on to let them know who exactly had done it, so if they wanted to they'd come back for us again. Of course they didn't, they probably logged off the game and haven't been back on since, but I tried.
What are you, casual? Did you level decks?
Now this is a tale worth telling here. These were some new sailors that must have seen the Reaper's mark flag and just thought that it looked cool. Because when we started sailing towards them, they took off like we were the Dutchman herself flying out of the water. They ran like the devil's whips were crackling behind them. But we weren't gonna let up. These poor boys had set up the wrong flag, unknowingly sealing their doom. So we sailed toward them with good crosswind, and the boys went to work with the mind games, the psychological warfare side of things, so that if they looked as through a spyglass, they'd see nothing but this strange-ass display of power on the front of the ship. I whipped the boys back in the ship, telling them to get on the sails and the cannons, getting everything ready to send these fools down to the Meg. Yeah, this is what it's all about, boys. Sailing with your best mates on the high seas, marauding, murdering, plundering, swashbuckling and cocksuckling across the high seas, taking out any other unworthy sailors who dare take on the name pirate. So, we get a good crosswind, and these boys are so afeard of us, so afeard me and my dread motley crew, that they don't even look to where they're going, and they smash headfirst into a boulder rising up out of the old man of the sea. And we get a good crosswind going that turns into a good headwind, and I believe we were heading south, heading down towards the bottom of the Sea of Thieves. These boys wouldn't have to worry about that though, they wouldn't make it very far. No demigod or any other kind of force of nature could save these boys. Their fate had been sealed. It was clear as day to me what fortune wanted, and it did not want me to give them a chance. They needed to be taught a lesson, not to sail with the Reaper's marked flag up. Now it had become very clear to me and me boys that this crew that we were chasing, these lubbers, were good and lost as to a way to avoid the crew of the SS Sloppy Seconds. But no fell the wind was going to offer them deliverance from us, no sir. There was no escaping this. And me and the boys were nipping at the bit for a chance to sink our teeth into these lubbers and beat them with their own peg legs, so we set up a port broadside. And I can't imagine anyone ever told these boys that dying is the day worth living for, because they ran like a dog with its tail between its legs, and I can't imagine the sea is what caused their trousers to be soaked. So we open up fire upon them, and I let Davy Jones know that he's got a few new socks to stuff in his locker. And as we opened fire, the only kind of retaliation we saw was one measly cannonball that didn't even hit our ship. And I respect the sailor who decided to fire back at us and spit in Death's face. But unfortunately, I think his head was taken off by a cannonball before I could shake his hand. They become a dead duck out in the water, and I send the boys to do the wet work. And the haul we got from this was a paltry sum at best. Probably not even worth calling it that. We might have gotten a few sapphires, not enough to pay for the cannonballs that we used on them. But at the end of the day, I think everyone here walked away pretty satisfied with the result. No, you might actually remember these boys. If you see that brigantine that's moored at the side of the island, that's the same crew that me and the crew sunk earlier. And we'd found them again. These boys may not have been off the map, sure, but here certainly do be monsters. The only thing I can imagine that would have been worse than seeing us schooning across the waves would have been the glowing eyes of the accursed merfolk come to drag them down to the depths to join their accursed ranks. And this is about every pirate's dream here. While these boys may not have had a whole lot of treasure, they did have an emissary flag, which is always of value to people like us. And this is also the pirate's dream, when your wealth is earned by the sweat on your brow and the strength of another man's back. So we open up another broadside, just a can of kick-ass on these poor wretches, and for the second time in probably an hour, send them kicking and screaming back to where they came from originally. To the Dutchman's arms they go, to the ferryman they'll be saying hello. And you can see one of their little lights was popped before we even got over to the ship. And so on in this video, the pirates will live forever and la-di fucking da and all that stuff. I know what some of you are thinking, you're judging me and me boys for rolling up on people and not fighting them fair. But you can't expect pirates to fight fair, can ya? And here the poor boy was trying his best to hug the merman, and just didn't quite make it. We'd be sure to let him know what we thought about him and his crew before he got sent on to the next life. And that was the last bit of plunder we got. We ended up getting to rank 30 worldwide in this clan on its first day. We haven't played much since then, but for a moment, we held the world in the palm of our hand. A giant crew of some of the best players ever assembled. But that's it for this tale. The next video will be more like the ones that have come before. But I hope you all enjoyed this one just the same. Remember to rate the video, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see some more Sea of Thieves content. That's it for this one. See ya. That's still fucking dumb, stupid.
Okay.